Okay, so we're back on the 4200, and today I want to get done with some of the mods that I should have done when I had the engine out of the truck, but I'm not taking it out unless I blow it up. I gotta take the turbo manifold back off because I need to do some oil passage mods. Basically running a oil line from the filter base that's down there somewhere to, there's ports on the side of the engine. But I want to do this so I can have it be pretty clean. I think I want to try and use hardline, so we'll see how that goes. But first, I need to take this hood off and put it on top of the cab because there's no lighting in here. Also, might take that airbox out while I'm in here. Let's get to it. Alright, that is much better lighting wise, and I have the turbo and the manifold out, and now you can see, maybe if I zoom in a little bit, these plugs in the side of the block. Let's see if we get over here. Nope, maybe not. Let's try this. Okay, you can see there's actually two that are gone in the back, and those are the two that we're going to be using. I forgot that I had actually taken these out beforehand. And then the other one is down here in the front of the filter base. Here's what they look like. Focus. There we go. It's just a plug. I can't remember what thread that is, but it was something goofy. And it's an Allen. It looks a little weird because I've got these Mac bits that bite. But that doesn't matter because we're going to be drilling that hole out anyways and grinding the top down to be so it can take a wrench. Probably just grind two sides down square parallel to each other, and that'll work. But we're going to drill one of these out, and I'm going to tap it. I have an adapter to go from, I think it's 1/8 inch pipe to whatever AN line I'm using for the oil feed for the turbo. And then the other one we're going to have to figure out, I need to get the plug out of the filter base, and we're going to figure out what we need to get to run a hard line. I'm thinking just a big brake line should be able to handle this. Like the biggest I can find. We're going to figure out what I have to thread this in order to adapt a big brake line into it. So I'm going to try and get this guy out, and then we'll go from there. Alright, a little bit of bonus content for everybody. If you've watched my phaser stuff, you may remember these carbs. I can't remember what they came out of, but they're absolutely terrible. And I bought an ultrasonic cleaner. So there we go, I got that out. And this one's quite a bit different than the ones in the back. And it also uses a bigger Allen. So yeah, I'll have to figure out how to get two of these to accept whatever line I'm going to use for to feed the 5th bearing. And then this one on the 6th is going to get adapted to feed the turbo. So there we go, we've got them drilled and tapped. Came out pretty good. I also ground the heads of them down so they're well, they're supposed to be a 20 millimeter. One of them ended up a 19 on me, but that's all right. So anyways, yep, gonna take these back, put them back in the engine, and put the adapters in and start bending the steel line to fit. Okay, so I have the plugs back in the engine. And you see I have in the number 5 port, I have an adapter to turn it into an inverted flare. And I have the same kind of adapter on a 90-degree elbow in this port up here. And I have that because I have a piece of like pre-made brake line. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bend it to fit, so I actually have a hard line. I just thought that would be a little bit cleaner and maybe look a little better. It's not the biggest line. It's kind of hard to make a big line work on this because the plugs, you have such a small tolerance for drilling and threading. So unless you can actually find a fitting to go in there, it's you're not going to get that much. And this isn't going to be a super high horsepower build, so I don't need a whole lot of extra lube going back there. Just something to make you feel a little better about it, I guess. And just like that, we have an oil line. Comes out of there, goes around the filter. You can still get the plug into that socket. And then back there to the number 5 main bearing. Number 6 gets a stainless steel flexible line, and that'll be the turbo oil feed. Probably going to get a 90-degree fitting for that one too, just so I can, I mean, it's kind of coming out right where I need the exhaust. Also, that heater port is going to have to get something done to it. Maybe try and find, I don't know, just a shorter one. I wonder if I can take the one out of the other side and put it in there, because that's all going to be really close to the exhaust. But it's something we'll have to deal with. But yeah, so that's how easy it is. I probably got 20-30 bucks into this, just with the line and all the little adapters. Obviously you could do it with less adapters, like you don't need to do a 90 down here. I have seen, if you guys look up Turbo 4200 on YouTube, which some of you probably did, you probably saw the video where this tensioner comes down and it smashes the oil line off, and a little bit of concern about that, but this isn't a high horsepower build. This is a Sunday cruiser that makes cool noises. Alright, so hopefully that doesn't happen. If it does, we'll figure it out. Like a banjo bolt fitting would be great for that one, just so it keeps it right up to the filter base. So I've got the manifold and the turbo back on, and I got the line kind of just hanging there. I'm not really going to hook it all up secure because I'm going to take all this back off. One issue we have is that there's no wastegate port, so that kind of, you might want that. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to take my handheld bandsaw and just slice right at the flange and just leave a little sliver in the back and just twist that out just a few degrees, just enough so maybe I miss this, or it's enough to where I can get a coupler on there. Alright, so I pulled the carbs out after half hour. And not terrible. I mean, it's not amazing. It is just a half hour. Probably run them again, see if I can get a little more of that rust off. Didn't really do much for the bowls, but... Alright, so there we got it. I got the manifold back off. I'm going to make my modifications to that, and hopefully have that ready for the next video. But that's where we're going to end this one today. Thanks everybody for watching. See you in the next one.